At 1900 hours in Tel Aviv's command headquarters, intelligence reports hit like a bomb. The Houthis in Yemen have prepared a secret stockpile of Shahed 136 drones, ready to launch toward Eilat's port. These drones could plunge the entire region into chaos within hours. Time is tight, and a decision is made. A preemptive strike is critical to neutralize this threat. Tonight, Sana'a airbase must be wiped off the map. 24 hours earlier, an Israeli spy satellite orbiting 600 kilometers above Earth captured 30-centimeter resolution images of Sana'a airport, revealing the Houthis preparing Shahed 136 drones in hidden hangars. A Hermes 900 reconnaissance drone had also patrolled at high altitude the previous night, relaying precise coordinates of enemy radars. Without this data, the fighter jets would be flying blind. At 2:13 a.m., the airbase at Hatzarim in southern Israel is shrouded in darkness. In underground hangars, Air Force technicians meticulously load Rampage missiles onto F-15I Ra'am jets. Each missile is inspected by hand. Any error could derail the mission. In the briefing room, the operations team reviews the latest satellite data. Enemy radar positions, escape routes, and even weather forecasts. Everything must be flawless. There's no room for mistakes tonight. 4 F-15I Ra'am jets, Israel's sky giants designed for deep penetration into enemy territory, are ready on the runway. Without lights or radio signals, these iron birds take off, flying just 150 feet above the Red Sea. Under the faint moonlight, the sea glimmers like a black mirror beneath them. They fly so low to evade enemy radars, moving like ghosts in the night, hiding in the radar shadow of an island near Egypt, and speeding south. Inside the cockpit, all non-essential systems are off, except for flight and counter-detection tech. The advanced Elbit 4 helmet projects all data directly onto the pilot's visors, terrain lines, target points, and enemy radar zones. It's like flying in a video game, but a single misstep could end everything. 5 minutes later, near Tyran Island, the jets make a sharp turn west toward Egypt's eastern coast. Now, they're just 200 feet above the water. Their powerful engines ripple the sea's surface, which races past like a dark, undulating carpet. The smart helmets display everything: flight paths, potential threats. This tech isn't just a cool gadget. It's the difference between life and death. At 2:39 over international waters, after covering 470 kilometers, the jets slowly begin to climb, nearing the edge of their safest route. From this point, they enter Yemen's dangerous territory, where Iranian radars and Houthi missile systems lie in wait. At Yemen's Al-Dailami base, radar operators trained by Iranian advisors stare at their screens, unaware that Israel's sky ghosts are closing in. The 4 jets split into 2 groups, each approaching from a different angle to avoid being caught in an ambush. At 2:43, at the rendezvous point with the tanker, another giant enters the scene, the KC-707 REM, a re-engineered Boeing 707 with Israeli tech. This flying gas station delivers 2,500 gallons of fuel to the jets in under 3 minutes. The refueling boom, with active control fins, operates like a precise robotic arm. Under the faint starlight, the jets connect to the tanker one by one and refuel. Now, the F-15s, with a 1,600-kilometer operational range and fully armed, are ready. But in a dramatic moment, as the jets disconnect from the tanker, a technical warning flashes in one of them: a minor issue in the engine cooling system. The team decides to press on, but they must now fly with extra caution to prevent the engine from overheating. The pressure mounts with every passing second. At 2:52 a.m. over the Red Sea, strong desert winds from Saudi Arabia buffet the jets. Flying at 200 feet in this turbulence is no easy task. A moment's lapse could send a jet into the water. Relying on inertial navigation systems and smart helmets, the pilots maintain control in the storm. Here, technology and skill intertwine. At 2:53 a.m., nearing Yemen's coast, a warning lights up on the jet's receivers. The first enemy radar signal. An old Soviet-made spoon rest radar, supplied by Iran to the Houthis, begins scanning. Seconds later, a more advanced P-19 radar, capable of detecting low-altitude targets, activates. It's clear a full air defense network is now operational in Yemen. The pilots flip a switch, and the EL-8222 jamming pod springs into action. This pod is like an electronic magician. It not only disrupts enemy radar signals, but also generates fake ones, making the jets appear kilometers away. It can manipulate 16 different signals simultaneously, completely confusing the enemy. From the ground, radar operators see only a screen full of noise, with no trace of the jets. The result? The F-15s glide through the sky like phantoms. At 3:06, 18 kilometers from Sana'a, there's no more hiding. The jets pass behind a dry, silent hill on Yemen's coast and are now fully exposed to enemy radars. They accelerate to 480 knots, just 2,000 feet above the ground. The desert below looks like a gray sea in the darkness. The threat of manpads, shoulder-launched missiles, is nerve-wracking. But the smart helmets display Sana'a International Airport in vivid detail. 6 transport aircraft carrying Shahed 136 drones, 4 mobile radar units, and a suspicious command post. These are the primary targets. Each jet carries 4 Rampage missiles, which strike like lightning. Guided by encrypted GPS and precise inertial systems, these missiles hit their targets directly and are virtually invisible to enemy radars, needing no active seeker. At 3:08, the group leader gives the order: weapons free. In an instant, 8 Rampage missiles detach from their rails, engines ignite, and they race toward their targets at Mach 1.5. At 0308, in Sana'a's command post, Houthi operators are suddenly jolted by massive explosions. Their radar screens are filled with noise, and no one can pinpoint the jet's location. A commander shouts, "Where are the missiles coming from?" But before they can activate their defenses, the drone stockpile and command post are engulfed in flames. Chaos reigns. Targets are obliterated one by one. The fuel depot erupts in a massive explosion, with giant orange flames leaping into the sky. The maintenance hangar collapses instantly, as if crushed by a larger giant's fist. The Shahed 136 drone stockpile and command post are engulfed in a wave of fire and smoke. Secondary explosions light up the entire airport, like a colossal fireworks display in the desert. The glow of the blasts is visible for kilometers, and the ground shakes beneath the enemy's feet. The air is thick with the smell of gunpowder and scorched metal. From above, the pilots see the base glowing like a massive lantern in the night. But there's no time to celebrate. The jet's warning receivers go berserk. Enemy fire control radars are now awake, and their air defense systems are scanning at full power. Suddenly, a stronger radar signal locks on. The pilots sharply veer south, executing tight maneuvers to evade radar detection. The warning beeps in their ears ring like a relentless alarm. A surge of adrenaline courses through them. Now they must escape this hell with speed and precision. The pilots know every second is critical. One jet makes a sudden left maneuver, hiding in the shadow of a desert hill. The jet's DI-RCM systems activate, their precise lasers ready to confuse any heat-seeking missiles. In this moment, time seems to slow. The distant explosion glow still hangs in the sky, and the jets race through the night with full power. The enemy is just realizing what hit them, but it's too late to react. The question now: can the jets escape this trap before the enemy's systems lock on? At 3:11, all targets are destroyed, and Sana'a Airport is now a smoldering parking lot. The jets climb steeply at a 60-degree angle, engines in afterburner mode. But suddenly, a missile warning. 2 SA-6 missiles, launched from Al-Dalami base, are chasing them at Mach 2.5. The pilots immediately deploy chaff and scatter the formation to confuse enemy radar. The DIRCM system kicks in, using precise lasers to mislead the heat-seeking missiles. The missiles close in. Displays show they're 32 kilometers behind and will arrive in 39 seconds. But there's hope. These missiles weaken at high altitudes. The jets cross the coast and head back toward the Red Sea. Enemy radar chases the jamming pod's fake signals, and the missiles explode harmlessly kilometers away. The pilots breathe a sigh of relief, but cold sweat beads on their foreheads. The morning after the operation, satellite imagery revealed Sana'a Airport completely disabled, with the Houthi Shahed 136 drone stockpile reduced to ashes. The strike not only set back the Houthis' offensive plans by months, but also severely weakened their ability to threaten Eilat's ports and even U.S. bases in the Persian Gulf. News of the operation exploded across regional and global media, with images of burned hangars and destroyed depots circulating on social networks. The Houthis issued a furious statement vowing revenge, but without key infrastructure, their hands are tied. The operation sent a clear message to Israel's enemies. No target, even 1,600 kilometers away, is beyond the reach of Israeli jets. Israel, with its usual cool-headedness, declared, "Our security is a red line." The strike was not only a technical success, but also sent shockwaves through the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, long embroiled in conflict with the Houthis, quietly supported the attack, with sources close to Riyadh calling it a sigh of relief, since Shahed 136 drones had repeatedly threatened their ports and oil facilities. But Egypt was furious. The violation of its airspace near Tiran Island was a red line for Cairo, which promptly sent a sharp diplomatic protest to Tel Aviv, demanding an explanation. At the UN Security Council, an emergency session was held. Iran, the Houthis' main backer, called the attack blatant aggression and promised a fitting response, but offered no specifics. Russia and China, as usual, condemned Israel, but the U.S. vetoed any resolution in its infancy. The operation put Arab states that signed the Abraham Accords, like the UAE and Bahrain, in a tough spot. They didn't publicly back Israel, but were privately pleased at the elimination of a shared threat. Military analysts on news networks emphasized that the strike showcased Israel's ability to execute complex operations without coordinating with neighbors. Now the question is, how will this strike reshape the region's dynamics? What's your take? All right, now it's your turn. What's your take on this mission? Do you think this surprise attack on Sana'a managed to completely knock out the Houthis? Or do they have a secret plan for revenge? If you were the commander of this operation, what strategy would you change? For example, would you focus more on stealth or increase the number of fighter jets? If you enjoyed this thrilling story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any adventures. Until the next adventure, stay safe and get ready for another exciting tale from these heart-pounding operations.